Welcome to the Church of Jesus Christ, first. Welcome to the Tuesday Nighters, second. And the second subset to the Church of Jesus Christ is welcome to the book club. The book club is now 92 weeks tonight and that's more than 21 months of reading and discussing together. This shift has been just absolutely wonderful. This is our 17th week in the suggestion box, meaning this is the 17th week of a chapter that someone on our call has suggested. With a confession, I've suggested one or two myself, but certainly not tonight. And I love the suggestion of Joshua 3 tonight. So thank you for whoever did that. And forgive me again for not knowing which one. We are 275 chapters, just under 7,000 verses, 193 plus words. I want you to consider this. Every chapter, every single verse, every single word that you have consumed fulfills your healthy daily requirements for spirituality. And I really pray that this is provided for a more blessed life, for a directional point towards all that you want in this life, especially as it pertains to spirituality. But we know this: reading the word enhances every facet of your life. I'm not going to spend too much time here, but look what you've done over these last 91 weeks of reading. It's just absolutely stunning. All right, let's get to our class and talk a little bit about this. Is just my introduction, doesn't have anything to do with anything other than my perspective on what we've read. I never intend for my comments to necessarily direct where our conversation goes at all. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, and either answer works for me. But I do want to kickstart us, give you a time to just collect your thoughts. Maybe as I'm saying things, you might even be rereading some things or highlighting some things to get ready for our discussion. All of that works for me. So I wanted to kick us off with a quick review. If you look at the map, by the way, you'll see the red lines tell you where this trek went, where the exodus from Egypt to Canaan was. So we begin this way. Once upon a time, there was a man named Jacob. Jacob wrestled an angel. He wrestled the angel all night long. And for his efforts, the angel renamed him Israel. Israel had 12 sons. Those sons, and more importantly, their lineage became what we call today the house of Israel. And God loved the Israelite people. He loved them, sadly, more than they loved him. And I don't know how much of that has changed in any of the followers of God, but certainly with this people. This ultimately resulted in their becoming enslaved. But God still loved the Israelite people. They were his favored. So, in their dilemma, he sent their rescue through a man named Moses. Moses was called by God to lead Israel from Egypt to Canaan. Unfortunately, Moses fell short, had a little his own wrestling match, if you will, with a staff and a rock and some water. And when he fell short, he also fell short of arriving in the land of milk and honey. And God still loved the Israelite people. So he continued, he being God, continued their rescue through a man named Joshua. All of this that I've just presented as a preparation for us to have discussion tonight concerning this one chapter, Joshua 3, 17 verses, 566 words. The Israelites had seen a lot on this journey, this 40-year journey. Now, it wasn't quite 40 years at this point, but we know that's what it ended up taking. They had seen much along their journey, including witnessing the Red Sea parting. So there was certainly some preparing that they did as they slept 3 days, as the word says, at the Jordan River. More specific preparation came through their leadership concerning their following the Levites, who represented the priesthood among the house of Israel, who would carry the Ark and the Covenant. What they were told was across the Jordan. Now, Joshua, prepared by God for his role, told them to further prepare themselves. He promised them that they were about to witness God's greatness one more time. Joshua prepared the Levites on what they were going to do in witness of Israel. And God further prepared Joshua for his role in what he would do in the witness of Israel. God told Joshua that the calling that had been Moses was now his. And that calling was simple: to lead his people. So Joshua told the Israelites what God had told him, specifically in preparation for the very next day's spectacular journey, heading finally towards the land of milk and honey after this pause at the river. Joshua reconfirmed to them that they would be walking across the Jordan. And he told them that, like the Red Sea, that this would take place on dry ground, that God was going to part the Jordan River, and that God was going to stop up the raging flow that defined this river. This is what the word said: the waters of Jordan shall be cut off from the waters that come down from above. I picture a mountain and this water flowing down, and they shall stand in a heap. And so I took that to mean they were going to be clogged up. God was going to stop that raging water. He told them this would happen only if and only after they prepared themselves. Joshua told them they had to spend the entire day in preparation to do God's will. I'm using my words, so I don't want to steal too many of your verses if you want to share verses or talk specifically. Joshua also told them to purify themselves. And he assured them that God was going to do the difficult stuff, which involved driving out, and he promised this, driving out the seven the 7 nations that were dwelling in Canaan, that God had prepared for them. And namely, those people were the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Hivites, the Perizzites, the Girgashites, the Amorites, and the Jebusites. And please don't anyone ask me to repeat any of those. Now, Joshua foreshadowed all of this, that they would witness, so that they knew first what he said would be true. Then when they saw it happen, they would know it was from God. And when it happened, their faith would be even reaffirmed and restored more so than it was as they sat and prepped. All of this, that they would witness God and God's Spirit as a glory to behold, obviously. He said it this way. Those were my words. These are the words from the Word of God. Tomorrow, Joshua told them, tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. Imagine being told that, and all you have to do is prepare yourself. Now, I want to share this with you. And this happened to me probably last night, I think. I hadn't read this chapter before Monday. And Monday, I try to prep on Sunday after church if I have a free day, which I didn't really have this time. So I worked some on Monday. As I prepared this overview, and typed it out. I had no thoughts of anything but what the chapter I had just read. And I just told someone, maybe all of you, I don't remember, but as I read this, it was fresh again. It was not a review of a chapter. It felt fresh, and it may be a function of my age. It may just be that, as I said earlier, I read it differently. So I had read Joshua 3, filled in these slides under what I thought was God's direction. And if I had to put a title to this or a theme to this chapter from what I read, I would have said God's expectations for us to make preparations. I want to be clear on this. It wasn't until that final slide was completed, the one I just did, that I recalled our theme from Sunday. And our theme on Sunday was, what are you prepared to do? And as I thought about that, truly, literally, I just stared at these slides and went through them again and again and again. I was ready to count all the times I used prepared. Now, what I will tell you is I went back and underlined all the words that had some form of prepared in it in red with a red underline, because God had reiterated at least how I received this 2 different times in 3 days to prepare ourselves. And I thought, how many times have I shifted these chapters around? Where was Joshua 3 when I first received it? It may have been 2 months ago. It may have been a month ago that I had scheduled it, and I just kept pushing it off because we did Mosiah 3, 4, 5 all together. We kind of threw that in. Just changes of schedule have this chapter coming in now. And I don't know that I captured it with what I captured it with, but what I captured it with was aligned with what God had given us on Sunday. So, in summary, like the Israelites, each one of you, are God's people. Like the Israelites, you carry those same expectations. Like the Israelites, all of you have escaped your own enslavement. For us, in this modern time, it's sin. And like the Israelites, each one of us, each one of you, prepare yourself by sanctifying yourselves. Just what he told Israel, he must be telling us as well.